All empires believe their money is safe. Every government convinces itself that its promises will last forever. But history always tells a different story. From Rome to France, from the Confederacy to modern Lebanon, people woke up one morning to find their savings gone. Their salaries could no longer buy anything. And the system they thought was safe left them abandoned. Here's the truth. Collapse is not rare. Collapse is the rule. The real question isn't, will the financial system collapse? The real question is, when it does, how will you protect yourself? We often trust our money, our bank accounts, our national currencies. We see them as bedrock. But money is not stone. Money is trust, and trust can vanish overnight. That's why history is both cruel and useful, because every collapse leaves behind a lesson. Who protected real value and who disappeared? Rome was mighty. Its borders stretched beyond the horizon. But what destroyed it wasn't the barbarians. It was its own money. The silver denarius lost nearly all its value over time. As emperors diluted it, public trust collapsed. Centuries later, Byzantium made the same mistake. The golden solidus, once the most trusted currency of the Mediterranean, began to lose its purity. At first, no one noticed. Then, faith was shaken, and an empire built on trust slowly died. Who survived? Those who trusted not promises, but reality. Those who owned gold, land, and tangible value. Not every collapse is a government's fault. Sometimes disaster comes from nowhere, like the Black Death. Between 1347 and 1351, half of Europe's population vanished. Cities emptied, villages disappeared, trade routes died. But even in that darkness, opportunity appeared. People were fewer, but land, food, and homes remained. Labor became scarce and valuable. Those who had a little money or gold rose to power. Strange, isn't it? Even in catastrophe, liquidity, the ability to move, trade, adapt, becomes power. And centuries later, during COVID-19, we saw the same pattern repeat. Governments printed trillions. The wealthy doubled their wealth. Those living paycheck to paycheck fell behind. Pandemics always redistribute wealth. They always have and always will. In the 1340s, Florence was Europe's financial heart. The great houses, Bardi and Peruzzi, loaned fortunes to kings. When England's King Edward III defaulted, everything collapsed. Banks failed, trade froze, chaos took over, and people learned a timeless truth. Too big to fail is a lie. Institutions exist to profit, not to save you. And when they fall, they take your savings with them. That lesson never changed. From Florence's banks to Lehman Brothers in 2008, the story repeats. If you rely on trust, you fall. If you prepare, you survive. The American Civil War wasn't only fought with bullets, but with money. The North printed greenbacks, the South printed greybacks. Soon inflation exploded. People carried bags of cash to buy a loaf of bread. The currency died. Paper promises vanished, but land, food, and gold survived. While some lost everything, others saw opportunity. France repeated the mistake. They seized church lands and issued assignats, a new paper money. At first, it brought hope. Then greed took over. Prices soared, wages collapsed, and bread became scarce. History whispered the same warning. No matter how noble the promise, it's worth only as long as trust remains. In 1997, Thailand's currency fell and took Asia with it. Countries borrowed in dollars. When rates collapsed, debts became impossible. Dominoes fell across Korea, Malaysia, Indonesia. The rich fled. Ordinary people paid the price. Those who held dollars or foreign assets survived. Those who trusted their own currency perished. Borrow another man's money, and when the storm comes, you drown first. Between 2019 and 2021, Lebanon's banks locked their doors. People woke up to frozen accounts. The Lebanese pound lost 90% of its value. Lifetimes of savings, gone. And everyone learned, your bank account is not a treasure chest. It's a promise. And in crisis, promises break. Who survived? Those who diversified, who owned real assets, who left before the doors shut. Do you see it now? History changes, but the pattern doesn't. Paper collapses. Debt enslaves. Faith deceives. Yet there is always hope, because collapse is both tragedy and opportunity. For the unprepared, ruin. For the ready, rebirth. Wealth is not just what you own, it's what you can do. The survivors of history weren't hoarders, they were creators. Bakers, farmers, craftsmen, merchants. When money lost meaning, they created value. People must eat, build, trade, and live. Those who meet real needs never stay poor for long. People must eat, build, trade, and live. Those who meet real needs never stay poor for long. Every crisis is a transfer, from the trusting majority to the prepared few, from paper promises to tangible value, from passive savers to active builders. So the question isn't, will everything fall apart? Because everything always does. The real question is, when it happens, will you hold promises or something real? If this story made you see the world differently, don't just scroll away, subscribe. Because history doesn't just repeat, it warns. And here we learn to listen.